Welcome into DC On Screen, episode 347. I'm your host, David C. Robertson, and this is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, okay.
That seemed fitting.
I don't want to sing. Anyway, we are getting super spoilery on the Flash 317 Duet. To recap, the music Meister puts Flash in a coma with Supergirl. They have to sing their way through the plot of a gangster-themed musical in order to escape. While they are indisposed, the music Meister makes a run at Central City, but is captured by Vibe, Martian Manhunter, and Kid Flash. After things start to take a dark turn? A dark turn in the musical, Mon-El and Iris are forced to Vibe into the coma to love, rescue Barry and Kara. It works, the show's various couples make up, and the music Meister vanishes into the distance. Barry ends the episode by proposing to Iris via song. I actually laughed when Barry said something about your boyfriend and she says he's my nothing. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
Even though she's still being a brat.
Yeah, sorry.
Because I want to talk about the good things real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Can we talk about the good
Let's
things
knock
real
that
quick?
out. Let's do it.
Martian Manhunter revealing himself, and Cisco being like, he's got green skin and a sick ass cape.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
This is just like West Side Story. I was thinking the Fantastics, but
Whatever.
that was fun. I laughed that Merlin's kid in the coma, his name was Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
After that big glorious song with Victor Garber and John Barrowman and Jesse L. Martin,
Mm-hmm.
this gather up the boys, we're going to war. I had a feeling.
Yeah. Or actually, before that, even Dad's. What, you got a problem with that? No.
Yeah. I loved the Super Friends song where Kara says you can just go back in time and give it another shot, and Barry goes, I'm actually not supposed to do that anymore.
Yeah. There were a lot of funny jokes in that song, like the
yeah.
The thing I actually liked about the song, because was maybe the moment where I felt, I think I've had too much song and dance for now. That was maybe the moment where the episode just hit that saturation point of, all right, I've heard enough. Can we finish this up? But I give them this. They looked good on screen. Those two really enjoyed themselves, and it just made me happy for them. Like I was just pleased watching them enjoy themselves so much. So it did give me that joy at least. And there are a couple good jokes in there. Like he says something about he'll be there in a flash, and she like gets on to him like, Barry, what? It's fine. But the best line in that song was they end with, and I'm your super friend. It has a double meaning, friend.
Yeah.
That one got me. That one actually got me.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of really good jokes about
fun.
Musicals, like, and when he has those conversations, like, well, that was a lot easier than I expected. And Barry's,
everything's easier in a musical.
yeah, later, wow, things are really are easier in musicals. I was a little vindicated early on. Like she does her cover of was it Moon River?
I couldn't tell you now.
It's some combination of those words. Music Master comes in and says like, great, you were a little flat in places, but great. I kind of thought, yep, I heard it too.
Yep.
This was about the point where Christian was watching it with me and looked over and went, yeah, she was a side character on Glee for a reason. I was like, oh, come on, that's harsh. Well,
wow.
Pretty much most of that cast could outsing her. So, okay, that's okay. And we I spent the rest of the episode trying to figure out what the problem was, and like when she's holding the note, she flats a little bit. When she's actually trailing off at the note, she nails it every time. There's people that can speak in a little better, a little more clarity with that. But anyway, the best two lines from those two: Supergirl, I have reached my limit with magical creeps. Mm-hmm. And Barry, when they're arguing outside the door, I didn't mean like a gender thing. I just wanted to kick it in.
I did laugh at that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, this was a strange episode, but I did think Barry and or I guess really Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist still have the chemistry they had from the previous crossover. Mm-hmm. They're still cute as hell, is what it amounts to.
Yeah.
Should we get to the part where it was kind of awkward?
Well, I'll lead in with Scott Madison, our listener Scott Madison, buddy of ours, says, when you guys record your review of the Flash musical episode, which is what we're doing now,
on it,
I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on what effect it would have had on the episode for them to have tried recording live during filming. like Les Miserables, as opposed to dubbing over with studio recording. Personally, I think the disconnect between what we hear in their voices and what we see on their faces is jarring. In that final song, Barry's face is far too relaxed and unemotional for what he is singing.
I completely agree with him, though. It probably would have had a different tone. It probably would have come off... It probably would have been a lot cooler. The problem is you'd have had to change so much blocking. It's a thing to block a musical so that everyone's at the right pitch, at the right like you literally have to put people on the right side of the stage so that they're in harmony with the right kind of people at the right time. Like it's a thing. And I think if they were just had more time to do it, they might have tried it. Maybe, I don't know, but it's a lot less time to block an episode like a normal episode of TV and then record the songs later. Just fact.
And I didn't think.
And I don't get the feeling that everybody was necessarily in the studio at the same time. My evidence is on the 3-part song with Berryman and Martin and Garber. That last note, they weren't on. That wasn't harmonized. They got real pitchy there for a second. I think they all recorded separately. Because if all 3 of those guys were in a room, I think somebody points out, like, hey, this one of us is off a little bit. Could be wrong, but to me, when I heard that, I thought, oh, they all recorded their bits separately and did their songs separately. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way for them to do it otherwise with the filming schedule. I just don't. And even, I don't know. I don't think it would have worked. And I don't think it would have necessarily been better. Just because, some people, they have ugly face when they sing.
Some people really do. That's a real thing. But, you can let it go a little bit. Like it's
not on the CW, you can't.
Everybody's got to have pretty
look pretty.
Everybody got to have pretty face. I can deal with it a little bit. Like if when you're singing and you really got it, you're into it. Whatever, it's fine. But they didn't make that choice. It's probably a thing where I doubt they had as much of a choice as they'd like. But it did amount to weird things, like in the blocking, for instance, in the final scene with the "Running Back to You," the guys from La La Land song. Fine little song, but. I kept thinking, as he was singing, I kept thinking he would be so loud right now. He's like 2 feet from her face, and he's hitting this high note. Like she would be like backing up a few paces. That's the kind of song where like the pitch he was hitting, he would have to be across the room singing it to her. Also, and Scott and I joked about this a little bit. Like we're having to imagine that there was like a Bluetooth sound system that his little iPhone was connected with, because there's no way his poor little phone could play karaoke for him at the volume he was singing.
Yeah.
I mean, suspension of disbelief just has to go to I've said it before, dizzying new heights in order to get through this episode.
No. He recorded it, and he was just playing it on the iPhone. He was lip syncing. That was all that was happening.
Yeah, that was all. He was just doing a little lip sync.
Yeah, and Iris is apparently so dumb.
Mm-hmm. She just thought it was him singing.
She thought it was him singing. Not only that, she was actually surprised that he was proposing to her again. Yeah, absolutely. So surprised that she throws her hands over her mouth and just looks like she's about to die.
Yeah.
I mean, are we really doing that?
I thought there should be like a nice... I thought she should be excited about it, but not necessarily that surprised, yeah. It's the same ring, too, I think.
Same ring. I mean, it's like, I don't know, second time in a week he's proposed. Get over it, girl.
I know.
It's okay.
I know. All right, now that we've broken the ice on like, hey, this is a little weird. Can I explain it like this? It's hard to imagine an activity. But you ever been in the middle of something, thought it was fun, and then like finished and went, what just happened?
Yeah.
That was one of those experiences.
I do it on this podcast all the time.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. It was one of those where like. It felt a little weird a couple times, but I mostly enjoyed it. The like, it was entertaining. It was kind of fun to watch him try this. Like from a production standpoint, it was interesting to watch. But the whole thing was a little awkward, and the plot was just effed up straight front to back. The plot was weird.
I don't know why Music Meister did whatever he did to get captured. I mean, if he can see everything, why does he even need to be?
He says he needs to be captured, and then he goes out and like robs a bank, and apparently that's. Well, all right, he gets captured over at the DEO, so he can find Supergirl. That's fine. And then he just shows up over at Star Labs. Again, okay, sure, why not? He doesn't make any sense overall. Like,
No.
Something Christian pointed out was, why is he Music Meister? Like, they say, he explains to Barry, like, well, this could have been a war zone, this could have been this, but you made it a musical.
Yeah.
So why is he Music Meister?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
No, not at all.
I don't know if he's fifth dimensional or what, because he just kind of fades in a way that's, I guess, similar to whatever his name, Mixed spelling. But I don't know. I guess he's fifth dimensional. He's got some weird omniscience thing going on. Fine. He has several powers apparently. Can I guess dream powers from whoever's in his little coma? Like he there's a lot left on the table as far as what the hell was he? What he was, I can be sure of, was this magical device they brought on for an episode to get him into a musical and to fix the two major slumps that have been plaguing Supergirl and Flash the last 4 weeks. The same 4 weeks I've been complaining about.
Which I half suspect they created just so they could fix it all with a musical.
I think that might be the case too. And let me get right to the heart of the part where I groaned. The kiss. We're gonna Snow White him out of this coma.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad. Like again, I watched it with the wife. We both groaned simultaneously. I mean that goes way beyond like, hey, things are really easier in musicals. That's way beyond that. That's just silly.
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend didn't like it.
And it doesn't really make sense. Like, he vibes him in, and I'm willing to buy that he can vibe him in. That's fine.
Sure.
But I don't know really, like, once they get in there, they kiss him, and then it gets it out. I don't know how that was supposed to work, except that, apparently, Music Meister is this weird, impish, godlike creature, that apparently that was the rule he set for getting him out, was that you have to show how much you love him. So it really, really is that they set up this, whatever problems they were having between Kara and Mon-El, and between Iris and Barry, the whole point of this episode and the whole point of Music Meister was to get that back on track.
Mm-hmm. Like, specifically, that's what he came to do.
It was
all stupid.
Wonderful, and he was. Darren Criss did a great job. No problem with him. But he's this charming, magical writing device that came to rescue the show. Mm-hmm. Both shows.
I would have honestly rather. I mean, that's fine. Make him a writing device. Whatever. I don't care. But they actually just were so weirdly lazy about him. I'm like, that's fine. Making him be lazy and say he's an imp.
Yeah.
Say he's from the fifth dimension.
And
just say it.
He says, like, where are you from? And he says, oh, you couldn't begin to understand. Like, they hint at the fifth dimension. That's fine.
Yeah. But you know what would have been way more interesting than them being in a coma and doing, like, 1940s musical? Is just Music Meister showing up from the fifth dimension and making all the characters sing about stuff that they actually felt as the characters on the show.
Right. I mean, that's how Buffy did it, and it was wonderful. Heartbreaking at times.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't even want to get into that.
I know.
But, by the way, speaking of things that I'm devastated about, can Tom Cavanaugh not sing? Where was Tom?
I know. I don't know how that worked. I don't know if he can sing, but I'd bet on it. He's got such a...
I would assume.
I'll call it a polytonic voice. He's got so much range when he's talking. I assume he can put out a note, but... And it would have been fun to watch, but oh well. And you know, I like getting to watch everybody sing. By the way, I want to give Jeremy Jordan the win on singing. Mm-hmm. I didn't mean to pun that, but I did. Sorry, but I think he was probably my favorite singer out of the episode.
I mean, he and Cisco did a fantastic job.
Well, two things about him and Cisco. One, they did a fantastic job singing. I just want to give Jeremy Jordan the edge here. I think he did the best job out there right then. And two, they had some pretty great accents. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed their accents probably better than anyone else trying. Barrowman's was pretty good, though. I'm not hitting on that either. Oh, and
yeah, there were some great performances. It's just
great moments too, like the first when they're doing the like put a little love in your heart. Like you go back to Barry and he's kind of like trying not to dance a little bit. That was funny. Mm-hmm. And then he's by the very end of the song, he's like moving his mouth in some weird way, and you like what I got from it was he's trying not to, like he's deliberately making his mouth do weird things so he doesn't start singing. Mm-hmm. And it, you know, a lot of good cutbacks to him, like when Victor and Stein are, when Garber and Jesse L. Martin are singing, Barry just sits down like, this is fantastic. Like it keeps cutting over to him, and he's like pointing to other people, like, this is great, right? Oh, sorry, I'm being weird.
Yeah,
I liked those cuts; they were funny. Really, really loved Martian Manhunter, Vibe, and Wally West out there teaming up. Mm-hmm. And the final shot with Wally punching out Music Meister was phenomenal, actually. That's as good as I need my CGI to look at any given time on these shows.
I can see that.
I don't know. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't. It was a disappointment to me. There were some good parts, but it was a big old honking disappointment to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I wasn't even expecting anything.
No, I mean,
Not really.
I didn't know what I was going to get into, and I knew it was going to be a little weird and awkward.
By the time I saw it, reviews had kind of rolled in from friends and from peers, and it was all sort of like So.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole episode to me had like a first time you had sex vibe. Like, it's awkward and kind of fun, and then when it's over, you're like, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, and you're like, I thought I saw this better in a movie.
Right. I don't know what to do now.
I mean, I don't know.
What happens?
You say Joss Whedon did it better? I don't.
Yeah.
We are DC on screen.
We'll leave you with that thought.
Oh my gosh!
No, the big thing is, I don't care how much we've just gotten onto it for being a weird writing device. I don't care. They fixed the two major problems in the shows. Hopefully, let's get back on track.
Please.
The romantic stuff was getting way off track here.
Agreed.
So, all right, I'll stop interrupting your outro here.
Well, we are DC On Screen. How do you like that? You can find every episode at dconscreen.com. Proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, giantsizeteamup.com. Guys, downloads are so important, so please subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher, and or wherever you listen to us. That would be amazing. And you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, DC On Screen, one word. It's pretty simple. We're going to be coming right back with a review of Legends of Tomorrow 215 Fellowship of the Spear. Until that time, keep some DC on your screen.